Now, as you all know that rate of reaction is greatly affected by many factors, and the factors are, you all are familiar now, but still I will sum up for you. So, the factors that affect the rate of reaction, the major factors, they are the the nature of reactants, they are the state of the reactants, the temperature, catalyst and concentration. You all know that how that you can say the rate of reaction is affected by those factors. You know that the concentration plays a very important role, as we know that if we have a reactant in small concentration and we have a reactant more concentration, so obviously the collision frequency is going to be more in case of the reactant where the concentration is more. So that means the rate of reaction will increase when the concentration of the reactant is increased. So as we know that concentration is directly proportional to the rate of reaction. So that means when the concentration is increased, definitely the rate of reaction is going to increase. Now, as we know all this, so we are going to do a new term, that is the differential rate law. Differential rate law. Right. We came to the conclusion on on differential rate law because we knew that the concentration is directly proportional to the rate of the reaction, or you can say that concentration affect the rate of reaction in a major way. Right. So what is differential rate law? It is nothing, it is just, you can say, a method of representing the rate of reaction. Right, it is another method, you can say, it is another method of representing the rate of reaction, and you know in which terms? It is in the terms of concentration of reactants. So it is just a method, this differential rate law is just a method of representing the rate of reaction in terms of the concentration of reactant. See, I am just going to explain you in a like I am taking an example of general equation, and then I am going to explain you that what is that differential rate law and how we are going to write the rate law expression, right. Suppose I have a reaction A plus B forms C plus D. Right. So in this you know that A and B are reactants and C and D are products. So I am taking a moles along. So suppose A moles of A, B moles of B, C moles of C and D moles of D. That means A moles of A and B moles of B are reacting just to form the product with the C mole of C product plus D moles of D product. This is what we are going to have. So according to differential rate law, it is that the rate of reaction is directly proportional to the concentration of the reactants. So as we know that in this reaction we have the reactants this, so I am going to write the expression by using these reactants. So that means the rate of reaction is directly proportional to concentration of A into concentration of B raised to the respective powers, and let the powers be X and Y. I am not, see, this X and Y are not the stoichiometric coefficients, they are not A and B. These X and Y are actually the experimental values, right. And you know that this may be equal to A or B, A and B, or it may not be equal to A and B. So it is not always that X and Y are going to be similar than the moles, that is the stoichiometric coefficient. It is not always going to be same. It is a matter of chance that it may be same, but actually this X and Y is the experimental value. So that means it is not similar to the stoichiometric coefficient which we are using in the given chemical reaction, right. So here we have, that means we have expressed the rate of reaction in terms of the concentration of the reactants raised to the respective powers, and those powers are the experimental values. Now removing proportionality sign, we put constant. In this case the constant is K, and you know that the name for this constant is nothing but rate constant. So this is our rate constant, and the way of writing this kind of equation, like I wrote equation in this thing in terms of concentration of reactants, is something called as rate law equation or rate law expression. So I think you understood how you have to write the rate law equation. Just the rate is equal to the rate constant, concentration of reactants raised to the respective powers, and remember that the powers are the experimental values, not the moles. It is a matter of chance that they may be similar to the number of moles, but not always they are going to be same, right. So this is what is the expression, that is the rate law equation. Now Coming to this rate constant, you know that this rate constant, like if somebody asks you to define rate constant, so how we are going to define this rate constant? So suppose in a similar example what I am taking the concentration of A as unity and I am taking the concentration of B as unity. So if I put these values in this expression, so it becomes R is equal to K 1 into 1, right. So that means rate of reaction is equal to the rate constant. This you are going to do only when somebody asks you to define the rate constant, otherwise there is no need to do this, right. But if somebody asks you to define the constant, then you are going to take the concentration in terms of unity and then you will put the values in the equation and definitely you will get this, that is the rate of reaction is equal to the rate constant. So if somebody asks you to define it, how you are going to define? Write in your copies. You are going to define in such a way that rate constant is equal to the rate of reaction when the concentration of reactants involved in a reaction are taken as unity. Again I am repeating, rate constant is equal to the rate of reaction. Rate constant is equal to the rate of reaction when concentration of reactants are taken and like the reactants which are involved in the reaction, the concentration of them are taken as unity. So this is what is the rate constant. Now we just want to know that the value of rate constant depend upon what factors. So first or you can say what information does it give? It gives information related to rate of reaction. So first thing, it gives the information about the rate of reaction. The second thing is that its value, the value of rate constant is independent of the concentration of reactants. That means it doesn't depend, the K value of K doesn't depend upon the concentration of reactants. Though the rate of reaction depends upon the concentration but not the rate constant. I repeat, rate constant value does not depend upon the concentration of the reactants. But you know that it is affected by the temperature. It gets affected by the temperature. As we will increase the temperature, what is going to happen? The value of K is going to increase. So definitely it will lead to the increase in the rate of the reaction. And in a similar manner, if we decrease the temperature, that means the rate constant is going to decrease and the rate of reaction will fall. So you can say that the temperature show a major effect on rate constant, but otherwise the value of rate constant is independent of the concentration of the reactants. Remember that the concentration of reactants affect the rate of reaction but not the value of rate constant, right. So this is what. Now I am just I am just making you do few questions because you should know that how to write the rate law equation, right. So I am just telling you, just look at the board carefully. Suppose I have a question for you. I'll write the question here, right. So we have the question. I want you to write the expression for this equation. I want you to write the rate law equation or expression, whatever you call, for this reaction, right. So how you are going to write? See, we are going to write that rate of reaction equal to constant, that is rate constant. We know that after removing proportionality sign we need to put K and K is rate constant, we already did, right. So R is equal to K, concentration of reactants, as the reactants are these, raised to their respective experimental values like this. So this is how you are going to express the rate of rate law equation. Don't think like that the power of 2, because in this case this 2 and this 1 is similar to the stoichiometric values which are used, or you can say the moles which are used in the chemical reaction. But it is not always going to happen like that, because it is a coincidence that the experimental value is matching the stoichiometric coefficient. In different reaction you will get to see different result. So don't think like that you need to write the stoichiometric coefficient. Keep in mind these are the experimental values. They may be equal or may not be equal to the stoichiometric coefficients which are used in the chemical reactions, right. So I have one more example in which you will get to see that what I told you. I have a question for you. CHCl3 plus Cl2 gives us CCl4 with HCl, right. Now I have two questions related to this reaction. First, I want you to tell me the rate, or I want you to write the rate law equation for me. So how you are going to write? Rate is equal to again constant, the concentration of CHCl3 and Cl2, right? You know that in this case the rate of when we write the powers, that is the x and y experimental value, is not similar to this 1 and 1. It is actually 1, but Cl2, the power of Cl2 is half. So you get to see this in the second one, that it is not always that x and y are going to equal to the moles A and B value, that is the moles which are used in the reaction. So in this reaction I showed you that these experimental values may or may not be equal to the stoichiometric coefficients which are used in the chemical reaction. So this is my first question to you. Now my second question to you is this, that out of CHCl3 and Cl2, that means we have two reactants, right? So out of them, like whose concentration will affect the rate, the rate of reaction more? So that means, again I am repeating a question, as these both are serving as reactants, you know that these are reactants in this reaction. So if I increase the concentration of CHCl3 or I increase the concentration of Cl2 with the same amount, so out of them which is going to affect the rate of reaction in a you can say in a greater manner. So what happens, see, as we know that the different reactants actually have different impact on the chemical reaction. Some reactants have more impact and some reactants have less impact. See, I am just like, before giving you answer to this question, I am going to explain you with some activity. See, if I have a tower, this tower is stationary, right? I have a sedan car, I have a jeep, and I have a truck. Right, I need to break this tower which is stationary. So that means, so I concluded that if I hit this tower with car 10 times, then this tower breaks. Okay, so that means when I hit this stationary tower with sedan car, it breaks after 10 collisions. But when I try to break this tower with jeep, it breaks with 5 collisions. But when I use the truck, it breaks in 1 collision. So that means if I consider this truck, jeep and car as reactant, so tell me that out of these three, which reactant has the more impact on reaction? Obviously, the more impact is for truck. So suppose if I increase more truck, like if I have 2 trucks here, so what is going to, like, if again I'll explain you. See, if I have 2 cars here, if I'll make this one car as 2 car, so that means how they will affect this breaking of the tower. So obviously we can say that from 10 times it will fall to, suppose it becomes in 6 collision it will break. And if I increase the jeep, so it may be this thing lower to 3 times. But when I double this truck, then what is going to happen? Obviously that in 1 collision it breaks, that means the rate of reaction is just going to increase more because this truck has more impact in breaking this tower. So likewise we are going to answer this question, just see that. So we have this truck, consider CHCl3 as a truck and consider Cl2 is suppose a sedan car. So out of them, which is just you can say influencing the more rate of reaction? Obviously it is CHCl3, because different reactants have different impact or a different role in a different chemical reaction. So we saw that in this reaction CHCl3 is playing an important role, it has a more impact. So obviously if we increase the concentration of CHCl3, so obviously the reaction rate is going to increase. So keep in mind that it is not always that all the reactants are contributing in the same way towards the chemical reaction. Different reactants involved in the chemical reaction are playing different roles. Some are affecting the rate in a greater manner and some are affecting the rate not in a much manner, right? So it is just a matter of chance that which reactants you are using, because it can happen that in one of the chemical reaction one reactant is playing an important role or it has an important impact and the same reactant in the other reaction is not playing such an important role. So this can happen, anything can happen, so just keep your senses open. So you have to, like, whenever you are writing the reactions involved, you need to be well versed that how you are going to write the rate law expression, then only you will be able to know the result which is involved, which is asked in the the given question.